Talking to Randy Jackson, the lead singer and lead guitarist from the band Zebra. How are you today, Randy?
I'm doing great, Jeff. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. I was working all night, so I've been up for a while.
Yeah, a little burnt.
Yeah.
All right, well, I got an advantage over you.
Are
I've been sleeping.
you a morning person?
Lately, I have been, yeah. It just depends on what my schedule is. Lately, I haven't, the last couple of weeks I've had off, so I kind of get into a regular routine when I can. And right now, that's where I'm at. I'm getting up like around 7:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. So
Oh, well, even if I was a daytime person, I don't think I'd get up that early.
that are too early for you.
Let's see. I was past couple of days. I've been 'cause I have the first two Zebra albums.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and the first one I remember listening to. The first one came out in '83, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that song, "Tell Me What You Want" on the radio,
Hmm.
and that was right before I started getting into music heavily. I just happened to have the cassette, and then when the next album came out, I went out and bought that. And the first one had "Tell Me What You Want" and "Who's Behind the Door."
Hmm.
And I went on YouTube because I was like, man, I remember seeing some videos, but it's been like years since I seen them.
Right.
So I was on there watching Who's Behind the Door, and I was like, wow, it's like you guys looked into the future or something.
Well, it was, I don't know if we were looking into the future, but the future was looking at us because, that was right at the beginning of the whole video phenomena. And, so everybody, all the record labels were scrambling to make videos for MTV. MTV was sort of the new way to get your music exposed at the time. And it really helped us, get a lot of attention.
Yeah, I mean, when did that probably MTV probably just started like a couple of years before that album came
It,
out, right?
exactly. Yeah. It was really pretty new. And so everybody was, really experimenting with how videos were going to be made and presented and stuff like that. And it was a pretty interesting time.
I was listening to the second album, which is No Telling
Okay.
Lies,
Uh-huh.
and I was like looking at the tracks on it and stuff, and it's been a long time since I listened to it, and I was like, because I always listen to the first one a lot,
Uh-huh.
so I was like looking at the tracks, and I was like Bears, and I was like, I know that song, and I put it back on, and then I was listening to it, and I was like, didn't this they had a music video for this, and wasn't there somebody in a bear suit? So
Yeah.
I went on, and there it was.
Yeah.
I
That
was
was
like,
a pretty interesting story with that song. We had a whole script written for the song, for the video, and we got to the video shoot, the day of the shoot. We had one day to shoot it, and there was a girl who was supposed to have gotten all the costumes and stuff ready, and she had brought a costume of a dancing bear, like Dancing Bear from Captain Kangaroo. If you can remember Captain Kangaroo,
oh
and it was
yeah.
like a kids show, and the director just went through the roof, and she had only gotten one costume. She was supposed to get multiple costumes, and so we had to change the whole script right there on the spot, and and that's what you see in the video. The guy in the bear costume actually is our road manager, and Marty Roth, and so we had to improvise to get that video done. But it looks like a lot of fun, and that's really what the videos were about back then. So I think we accomplished what we were trying to do.
Yeah, other than the blood, it was a very innocent video.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
um, the I don't know, I was just like listening to the stuff over again, and I'm just like, man, this you guys were like great. I mean, you were unique. You were a unique band.
Well, thanks. We tried to be. Our influences were a lot of the progressive stuff. Back in the '70s, we were into Pink Floyd and Yes, and uh, we did a lot of Zeppelin back then when we were before we just did all originals, and so we, as a three-piece band, we tried to do a little more than just bass guitar and drums. So we had Felix playing keyboards and doing a lot of harmonies, and that's kind of how we came up with our sound.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell there's like a, Zeppelin, yes, influence or whatever, but, uh, but you were, I think you had your unique sound, it was more than just, I mean, you had, like, your singing, your voice, it was like, it really fit in with the 80s stuff that was, like, coming out at the time or maybe a little after.
Hmm.
But the musically, there was more to it. It wasn't just like power chords and stuff. It was real musical.
Yeah, we really kind of shied away from that aspect of the '80s, and tried to do something that was a little more interesting anyway. Um, a lot of the '80s bands were, it was kind of a formula going on with the songwriting and stuff,
Right.
and I think when we came in, it was like 1983, and we had already been together for 8 years, so uh, we had already established in our minds what we were going to be, and Atlantic didn't give us any trouble about who we were or what we were going to be doing. When they signed us, we were already getting radio airplay with what we had done, so they gave us pretty free reign to do what we wanted to do, which was a great thing, and and helped us be a little more creative without having any of the quote unquote chains put on us.
So they never like pushed you to be like more commercial or anything.
No, nope, we never got that from them, and I think that was a good thing for us. Gave us a lot of artistic freedom.
Yeah, I don't. I kind of feel like the second album compared to the first might be a little more commercial, maybe, but they're both great. And I love that song. Uh, Wait until the summer's gone.
Uh huh.
That song just rocks.
Thanks. There was that song would have gone on the first record, but both Bears and Wait Till the Summer's Gone were already written when the first record came out, and they could have gone on the first record, but we held them and put them on No Telling Lies. A lot of No Telling Lies were pieces of songs that were written, uh, all around the same time, and that I had put together for the record. I think the only brand new song was Lullaby, which I wrote, on the piano. The Now, between the second and the third record, 3.5, that was when I really had to get to it, and I wrote probably 50 songs between while we were on the road promoting the second record to get the third record ready. And if you haven't heard that record, I would suggest you check it out because that's a lot of people think that's their favorite record.
Yeah, I think I've only heard maybe one or two songs after that.
Yeah,
I'll have to listen to the whole thing. But you had, don't you have like two more after that?
we had Zebra 4, which came out in 2003. Those are so there's four studio records. I've got more material I've been working on and try to do a fifth. Um, and we put out a DVD and we have a live record, so you may be counting those, but there's four studio records as it stands today.
Okay. I was reading that Felix, the keyboard player, he played in the Ace Frehley band for a little bit.
No, Felix never played with Ace Frehley.
Well, somebody's lying to me.
Uh, well, Felix plays with a guy named Budgie, who's a drummer who I think played with Ace Frehley.
Oh, okay.
So maybe they just got it confused. No,
Probably.
Felix never played with Ace Frehley.
So we were going to talk about how you guys formed.
Yeah, we we got together. Felix and I were in a band together in 1973 called Shepherd's Bush, and that was his band. He had formed with a friend of his, Eldridge Madare, and they were looking for a guitar player. And I joined their band. Felix was writing all the material at that time, and that kind of reintroduced me to songwriting. And so I was helping a little bit writing the songs, but the band lasted about a year. We didn't do a whole lot of gigs. And when we broke up, I was introduced to Guy, who had just moved to New Orleans in 1974. And Guy and I started playing together with a keyboard player, and I enlisted Felix to play bass. We wanted to go out and make some money to pay back Felix's brother, who had loaned us some money for a PA system for the previous band, Shepherd's Bush. And that was kind of the beginnings of Zebra. We played one or two shows. The keyboard player decided to leave and left us with three-piece. And we looked for singers, and we weren't really sure what format we wanted to be. And it eventually just settled into a three-piece band. And so it's been 40 years now. Long time.
Yeah. So were you singing before that, or did you just
I
decide to?
wasn't the lead. I wasn't the lead singer. Felix was the lead singer in the previous band, and but I did sing. I sang backgrounds and stuff, but I didn't really consider myself a singer. And so when we became three-piece, all three of us sang different songs. Guy used to sing the Deep Purple. When we did Deep Purple, I sang, everybody sang some Zeppelin. I sang, I think, the ZZ Top. Felix sang Aerosmith and, and the Rolling Stones. And everybody was doing, some different lead singing. And it just kind of morphed into what it became with maybe because I was bringing most of the songs to the band that I became the quote-unquote singer on, those songs, the original songs we did. So, but I was doing a lot of the lead singing right before we took that step.
They were just like, Randy, you could have it.
Yeah, yeah. In a way, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're a great guitar player too. You just have some
Thanks.
various classical feel to your playing.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I love the guitar and stuff, but for me, it's really the song that matters, and that's
Right.
probably why it takes me so long to get whole records together. I'm about having the song and making sure that it's a good one, and our fans have been really loyal to us, so I must be doing something right. So
Yeah, to me, I mean, musicianship's great, and some people are real focused on lyrics. But to me, it's like you could have a four-chord song. I don't even care what you're singing about, as long as the melody is good.
yeah, that's the first thing that's going to draw you to any song is going to be the melody and the chords. And then if the lyrics are good, that's just a great addition. But there's a lot of songs that I love that I don't even know what they're singing about.
Right.
And that was always the case, especially when I was younger, even listening to the Beatles, when I was first growing up, I couldn't understand what they were saying half the time, but I just loved the songs.
Right. So yeah, I was watching that. Well, I've seen it a couple of years ago, but I watched it again. That DVD you guys did
Mm-hmm.
at the what was it?
Zebra the DVD, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that sounded real good.
Thanks. Thanks.
So you said you're currently working on a new Zebra album.
Well, writing it, yeah, we haven't started recording. I've got some material written for it, and want to have it done before we're in the ground.
Yeah.
We're not getting any younger, that's for sure.
So do you prefer recording analog, or do you use the new tools they have now?
I do. I record digital. The analog has its I guess, finesse. A lot of people uh, like the compression of the tape, what it does to the sound.
Right.
I think if you know what you're doing, digital is just as good. A lot of people who record, when I remember when digital first came out, there was a lot of people against it. Oh, no, no, we got to use tape. We got to use a Studer, use the 24 track tape. We're not going to go digital. But there was a guy named John Sonneveld that I work with, a producer from over in Europe, who had done Golden Earring, and he had a we recorded some drums with him digital on a Sony. No, it wasn't Sony. It was it doesn't matter. Whatever the machine was, a 32 track digital machine, and the drums just sounded phenomenal. I mean, I comparing to any drums that I had heard previous, recorded, and uh, he was, that was it for me. When I heard what he was able to do in the digital domain, I was sold. So I never looked back after that.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, I've heard some big name recording artists that have all recorded digital, and some of the recordings sound real close to analog. I mean, you couldn't really tell a difference, and then there's some others that are just what happened.
Yeah,
So,
it's all about the engineer. Whether you were recording digital or analog, the engineer makes all the difference in the world. And sometimes tape would actually help a bad engineer uh, sound a little better because of the inherent compression in the tape itself,
uh-huh.
prevent it from being putting too much onto the tape, or too much uh, help somebody that was putting too much level to the destination.
Right.
uh, but I think if you know what you're doing, you can just you can go to town with digital, and it's a much easier environment to work with.
Oh yeah, it's a
That's
lot
just my opinion.
quicker. I think I saw you were doing some solo gigs.
Yeah, I've been playing solo acoustic for 20 years now, and I do like a combination of zebra stuff along with Led Zeppelin, Beatles, and Pink Floyd, some of the stuff I grew up with, and it's been working out good. I do it all over the country. I play private parties, clubs, theaters. I do it all with that, and it's a simple thing to do,
Yeah.
easy setup, and I enjoy it. It's a little more intimate because I'm able to, like, if somebody wants to hear a song and they yell it out, I can just switch right to it at the that instant. So from that viewpoint, I enjoy it.
So when you guys record the next Zebra album, are you gonna like tour as a band or?
Yeah, we still playing live. We're going to be actually not too far from you in May, I think it is, at this Fest.
I
You
think
said
I.
you're in Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, I'm right. I'm probably like an hour from Binghamton.
Uh huh. Yeah, so we're going to be we're there on May 8th, actually, and yeah, I want to tour again, but that's really going to depend on the other guys in the band, what everybody's schedule is. Things change,
Right.
and everybody's got different. It's easier to record a record, I think, than it is to line up a whole
Yeah.
tour. But
Right.
we do play. We consistently play throughout the year, and it's good. Uh, I love when we play like 4 or 5 gigs in a row because it starts to feel like we're getting tight again. It's a
Who
good feeling. Kind of building up.
who's in charge of booking your shows?
We do a lot of the booking ourselves. People contact us with social media and stuff. Uh, we got a lot of direct access to people, or people have direct access to us. And but we do have a couple of agents that handle some of the bookings. But for the most part, I think I'd say like 70% of our bookings are direct with us.
So do they like go out and find places for you to play, or do you have like promoters contacting you, asking you if you want to play a
Usually,
show somewhere?
it's usually a promoter. I mean, we don't like enlist people to go out and find
Right.
places for us to play. They usually already have the gig lined up. Uh, for instance, the Rosfest, has been running for years, and they just contacted us to see if we were available on that date, and we made a deal with them, and and doing the show.
What part of Pennsylvania is that in? Do you know?
Yeah, let me see. I can tell you right now. I should look online.
Just Google it.
Yeah, I'm going to look at the Zebra website right now, which is thedoor.com. Might as well tell people that.
Yeah.
Okay, it's in Gettysburg.
Gettysburg.
It's in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Yep.
What's the date of that?
That's on Sunday, May 8th at the Majestic Theatre in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
I think there's a ways for me, but I definitely want to see if I could get down there and check it out. That's going to be the full band, right?
Yep, that's Zebra. And I think we go on around 7:30 or 8 o'clock.
Yeah, that'll be. Yeah, if anyone, like I said, if you haven't heard of Zebra, go check them out on YouTube or on the door. What is it? Thedoor.com.
Right, thedoor.com.
Ask you. I know it might be too personal, but do you have like a story from like say whatever the '80s or whatever, like a road story that you could share?
Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know what kind of story you're looking for, but you're looking I mean, I could tell you some of the things that I remember, when we were opening up for bands. Um, no road dog stories, but I remember opening up for ZZ Top one time. One of the things that really sticks out in my mind. It was actually before we had a record deal, um, and we were opening up for ZZ Top in Florida, and we did really well. The crowd liked us. We came off stage. ZZ Top's road manager said, I think you guys should go back on for an encore, which was, you know, certainly they didn't have to do that, but he was urging us to do it, and so we went back up on stage to do an encore, and we were going to do Wait Until the Summer's Gone. So I started off by doing a guitar solo uh, before the song, a little guitar solo intro,
Right.
and all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I see something flying that's looked like it's on fire, and the next thing I know, like this M80 blew up right next to me. Somebody had thrown
Oh.
an M80 on stage, blew me sideways. Now, it shocked me so much. I didn't even miss a lick. I just kept playing. But uh, man, it was like it's a concussion bomb.
So it didn't affect your hearing or anything?
Oh yeah, it did. I was like, I was shell shocked at that point. My poor lighting director, who was on the side of the stage with headphones on, he got knocked out. He went backwards, because uh, his head was just level with the explosion. He wasn't close enough to where he got burned or hurt seriously, but it knocked him out. And I was, it blew up down below me head level, so it didn't knock me out, but scared the crap out of me. And so then I went up to the microphone to start singing the song, once I started it, and you know. So now I'm looking for anything. I'm waiting for another one to come, and then I see something out of the corner of my eye coming at me again, and I kind of jerked away from the microphone. It turned out it was just a frisbee, and
That's still bad when you hit in the face with a frisbee when you're trying to sing.
well, a lot better than an M80 though,
Yeah.
So I felt kind of silly ducking a frisbee, but I couldn't tell what it was, But it was just one of those things that happened that you remember, And we played thousands of shows, but I remember that one distinctly, That was a good time. We did a couple of more shows with ZZ Top after that, and they always treated us great. Awesome.
That was before you had a record deal, you said?
Yeah, it was before we had a record deal. Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
That's so thedoor.com. is
Hmm.
where you can find the information on Zebra. And you have a Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook. Go to just type in Randy Jackson Zebra, and you'll find my Facebook pages and the links to all the Zebra Facebook page and everything else.
Okay. Well, thanks for talking with us today. This has been great.
Yeah, no problem, Jeff, and get some sleep.
Oh, I'm gonna get some sleep eventually. Tell me what you want. All right, there you go. Randy Jackson from Zebra. Hope you enjoyed the interview. Go ahead and leave some comments. Share our page with your friends. Get the word out, and maybe we can get some more great